Drills Talk, episode 32. In this episode, we're going to discuss the top 4 ways out of poverty. We want to get out of poverty. Some of us don't know we're in it. Others know we are. And we don't really quite have an idea, or at least a great idea, about how to get out of it. You know, some of us want to live off of other people, maybe get by every day using the government, or maybe something illegal, to keep it real, I guess. So let me get this straight. You rather do what's easier, right? You rather do what's not so smart? Okay, so yeah, you're right. Let's do it the dumbest way because it's easier for you. Drills Talk, episode 32, the top 4 ways to get out of poverty. We're going to get right into it, but before we start, of course, please like and subscribe. I'm doing this to get like and subscribe to, build an audience, and help as many budding entrepreneurs or current entrepreneurs that I possibly can. It's a great channel to watch. Mondays, we have new blogs. Wednesdays, we have new vlogs, Drills Talk. And Fridays, I release a new beat every Friday, different genres, very interesting. I hope you join us. And those who are already with us, I hope you stay. Let's get started. Number one, acknowledging you're in it. The deprivation of necessities, the deprivation of basic goods, clothing, shelter, water, food, education. These are things that we are, deprived of and may not really put that hand in hand with being impoverished. And the step of acknowledging that you're in it is basically going to be that stepping stone or that start gun that you're going to hear and say, you know what, I am impoverished and I need to do something about it. You live in a big city and you go out and you're working hard and you're basically barely making ends meet. You live in a great big city. You live in a city that everybody wants to visit, but it's filthy out there. The education system is not that great. So do you want to raise children there? How's the water? Do you drink from the faucet? You probably don't. It's like, why am I making this money, which I feel is good money and maybe elsewhere would be good money, and not really feeling that I can go to the local market and get the best produce possible? Why is that? Why must I step over stuff? Why, if I have on new shoes or clothing, do I not want to sit in the mass transit system? Or do I want to be careful where I step when I'm waiting on a train or a bus? Why should I have to do that? Is that normal? That's not normal. It's just everyone's doing it. Everyone around you is doing it. So you kind of turn a blind eye to it, like this is what it is. And okay, well, as long as my home is clean. But you should be able to step out to cleanliness. You should be able to step out and know that there are good schools around. You should be able to step out and go to your local supermarket knowing that there's good produce. Those are basic needs. You should be able to drink from your faucet. You shouldn't have to, buy bottled water and think that this is the only way I can drink water. Something's wrong with that. But in the big cities, we don't see anything wrong with that because, again, everybody's doing it. We're missing something that's going to get us out of it. And then we complain about it. Not knowing we're complaining about it, casual conversation. Oh, I have to go all the way up here to get the good produce, or only this store has good produce. I have to, move if I have a kid because there's only 2 good schools in the area. And if I don't live in this area, I can't get my kids in. I need to buy a car, not because there's no mass transit system. It's just because they're filthy. And if I have my own car, I won't have to worry about dirtying my clothes on my way to wherever I'm going. That's not normal. It's not. And we tend to forget that it's not. And hopefully this video is going to remind you and propel you out of it. Number two, acknowledge you're in it. Relative poverty. Relative poverty is an economic disadvantage in a place that you live in or society. A lot of us fit that. So relative poverty would be living in a big city and 10 blocks north, south, east, or west, they're multimillionaires. How is that possible? What is that about? Are you impoverished because of that? Absolutely. Me mentioning number one, I mentioned that You have to live in a certain neighborhood to get to a good school. What's that about? Yeah, you need to do all of these things because your society is set up to impoverish you. What can you do about that? Well, one is acknowledging it. We know that, okay, some of these basic needs are not there. Well, how about societal needs? How fair is that? How level is the playing field there? It's absolutely not level. So what we need to do is acknowledge that we are without a lot of basic needs. We are also, not equal or not on a level playing field in society. So impoverished on both sides, on both ends. And now that we understand that, we can get out of it. We can start to move forward. We can learn what the issues are and figure out how to address those. And when we have that kind of power, acknowledgement, it's pretty much step one in any kind of self-help you go through is acknowledging the issue. Alcoholics acknowledging an alcoholic, gamblers acknowledging you're a gambler. Everything is you getting better because you first acknowledge that there's an issue. We've acknowledged that. We went through it on two sides. One of those definitely fits you. What we need to do now is move forward to number three. Number three is to move. And this is more than just moving as far as us talking about going forward. This is leave where you are. This is get better by making your money stretch a little further than it did. This is moving out in an area to where there's not as many people. But there's not as many people, but there are better schools. You have more space and it's cleaner because, again, there's less people. Moving can be very difficult. I actually moved when I was very young, like right out of high school. I made the move to go to college, ended up staying where I was, or where I went for college. But moving, when you're 25, 35, 45 and up is a little harder. But when you see that there's so much more out there, there's so much better out there, there's so much different out there, you have to explore and actually talk to yourself about, hey, maybe where I am has run its course. Maybe where I am is not for me anymore. I desire more. I desire better. I desire a more level playing field. I desire my money to go further. And that desire is just not going to be fulfilled where you are. So what can you do? Move. Yes. So you're a city person and you like to be around everything. Well, that's what cars are for. You can always drive back to the issue, but you don't have to live in the issue. There's perks to being in the city. I understand, but you don't have to sleep there. You don't have to lay your head there. You don't have to pay the expensive, gas or, that adds up. You don't have to pay the convenience store fees of, not having a supermarket or a normal large retailer to go to where you get those huge discounts and you get that better produce. It's just something you should think about. Moving is not the end of the world. You do have transportation to get back to the city. Maybe you live in a rural area, and what you should do is look up some suburbs to where you get that mixture of city and rural life. But you're not jumping in headfirst into the city, and you're not completely escaping your rural, upbringing. But you get in a new area to where you probably have multiple schools to choose from, other than the K through 12 that's usually in, those rural areas. You have new people and people you can learn from and grow more and maybe get you out of that, impoverished situation, whether it is absolute or relative. Things can happen. Let's not embrace, the monotony of it and say, okay, well, yeah, this is just the way it is. And because if you stay, that's exactly what it'll be. It'll be exactly what it is. And you will stay impoverished, but now knowing, which makes it a little harder, a little worse. So again, move, make your money work further, make your money stronger, get you cleaner water, be able to drink out of the faucet, be able to go out without worrying about how dirty the area is and just having a sense of you're surrounded by filth. It's not what you need. Number four is to learn a skill and monetize. This is the ultimate way of escaping poverty. Absolute of course, this will definitely get you more money and get you out of the need of basic necessities because you'll be able to afford to go wherever that is. Relative economic inequality. Obviously, this completely affects or directly affects and fixes that issue. So monetizing whatever you're great at is going to get you out of this situation. Even if you decide not to move immediately, because you really should move if you're in that situation. But if you decide not to move immediately, this would allow you to stack up enough savings to where you can get maybe even more space than you were originally planning to get, just in case you want to have a family be able to grow into that new space, a new area you're in. Whatever you choose to be your skill, it can be, using your hands, arts and crafts. It can be t-shirts. It can be, you utilizing whatever gifts you've gotten from your career and just being an online consultant or giving advice about what you've been through. People will buy that. People can use that. Create an ebook. And people see online, okay, well, there's a whole bunch of people doing that online. And why would they want to buy from me? The cream always rises to the top. There's plenty of information out there that you gloss over every day because it's garbage. You come across something that's good and that's helping you. What do? You read it. You bookmark it. You probably come back to it multiple times because it's not a lot of great information out there. And when you find it, you should stick with it. Like me, you should stick with it. Subscribe. Where is it? Down there. Because not everybody's giving away this information, and you can give away your information, or you can monetize in a different way to where you can sell other people's products that are online. And whatever you want to do, start now. It's probably going to be rough in the beginning, but as you get better, it gets easier, and your money making or your cash cow changes from your traditional job to what used to be your side hustle, because it's a skill that you've got that nobody can take from you. You've monetized it. You know how to market it. You're no longer impoverished. Nobody can hold you down. You don't have to worry about maybe a boss not liking you, because it doesn't matter. Your skill comes from you. Your money comes from you. That is the most powerful tool that you can ever have. That is the most powerful tool that will guarantee that you'll never be impoverished again. Wherever the good stuff is, you can get to it. You need a good school, you can get to it. You can move to it. You need water in your location, the water's clean. You can drink from the faucet. Economic inequality is gone because you know how to make money now, and you make money off of yourself. No one can do anything about that. It's a glorious feeling. Drills Talk, episode 32. It's for the top 4 ways out of poverty. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It's drills.com. Check this shit out. It's Drills.